in advance of our great STEAM challenge that's going to take place tomorrow. This evening is possible because of the wonderful sponsorship of McCarthy Building Companies, and you're going to hear and get to meet some folks from McCarthy in just a minute. Also want to thank the girls and their leads for this year. This year has been a difficult year, and the girls and their team leads have risen to the challenge, and we've got some amazing projects, and we're looking forward to hearing from some of the girls, and we've got some fierce competition. So we want to thank the girls and their team leads for everything they did and really embracing the project this year amidst all the other things going on in the school year. Also want to thank our judges. We've got some judges that have got a very tough job. I'm glad I'm not a judge because they are all very fun projects. And then of course our sponsors, and you've been seeing the sponsors scroll through. And then of course our guests tonight that have chosen to join us. We appreciate you spending your Friday night with us to get to know a little bit about our work, a little about these projects. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the video. I think we've got a video presentation that we are going to show.
I'm so sorry, I'm gonna restart that. The sound is not coming through.
This is a wonderful opportunity to really promote the use of the engineering method or the scientific method and getting our girls educated about STEM.
I want to be part of the STEM challenge because I really want to go forward in life and actually make myself a good thing in life and also just have fun.
Really deepened my connection with not only the members of my team, but the other girls I met from YWPN, people I'd never seen before. I just felt an instant connection, and I just loved meeting new people and getting to experience that same sisterhood with the other girls I met.
And thank you again to our sponsors. And now the exciting part of the program, I want to introduce our women from the McCarthy Building Companies who are going to do a Q&A for us. And so we've got Colleen Martindale, who is an estimating director, Alejandra Ibarra, who's a project engineer, Nikita Bagat, a project engineer, and Chelsea Ulrich, an operations assistant. So these women are going to moderate a panel and do a Q&A with representatives from each of our schools. And I thought that instead of me introducing girls from our schools, I would ask them to each introduce themselves. And I've got a question for them, and this wasn't part of the program, but I think it'd be fun to get to know them a little bit. And I'd love to kind of see what is your favorite, like, what do you gravitate towards? What's your favorite subject and what do you enjoy most in your schoolwork? And then also, what do you do outside of school? So we'll start, I'm going to go ahead and start with Dallas and then we'll go from there. So we've got our Dallas representative. Our Dallas representative, Natalie. Is Natalie with us? Okay. Then our Austin representative. Is our Austin representative with us?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
So
Tell
my
us a
name
little
is
bit.
Gia Latawa, and my question is to Ms. Martindale. What first sparked your interest in STEM, specifically civil engineering?
Gia, thank you. I actually started out in school as a music major. I was studying jazz guitar performance at the University of Texas in El Paso. And I was doing just about everything that I thought that I could do with that program. I was teaching both at a private school and the university. I had always had an affinity towards math. I enjoy the theoretical and the math side of music the same way I do engineering now. So I looked to make a change, and my school was known for their engineering program. And so I thought I would give that a try. I liked civil engineering. I had at the time some interest in like city planning and design. And that's what I thought I would end up doing. And then via a career fair, I met somebody from McCarthy and decided to give construction a shot and fell in love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm curious, I have a question for you. What is your, Gia, what's your favorite subject in school? And what do you enjoy doing outside of school?
Like Miss Martindale, I love math. Math's my favorite subject. And outside of school, I love doing singing and dancing.
Oh, wonderful. What kind of dancing?
Like Indian classical dance, it's called Kathak.
Oh, wonderful. That is great. Well, I do think that our representative from Dallas, Natalie, is on. So let's find Natalie.
Thank you.
There we are. Okay, Natalie. Natalie, are you there? We're still having trouble getting Natalie. So we'll go on to Fort Worth. We've got Anika. Anika? All right. Grand Prairie, our Grand Prairie representative. She is here.
It looks like we're getting some comments in the chat from the girls.
We are, and we'll go back to them. So yeah, you'll need to unmute yourself and turn your camera on, but we've got our Grand Prairie representative ready to go. And so I will turn it over to you to introduce yourself and ask the question. And then we want to hear a little bit about what you love in school and what you do outside of school.
Is that me?
That is.
Okay. My name is Jakaria Shine. And my question is, has anybody pursued a STEM or STEAM career, but it's not specifically engineering?
I can go ahead and take this one. So funny enough, my first, when I first started trying to find my major, it was engineering. I decided further along the road, and my story is pretty long, but that I didn't want to necessarily design the projects. I really wanted to be out there building them, seeing them come to life, being able to drive past them and saying, hey, I was there. So I actually pursued a degree in construction science and management, and that's how I got here.
And tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what do you enjoy in what's one of your favorite subjects? And then what do you love to do outside of school?
My favorite subject is math. I've always loved math. I prefer it over the other subjects just because math is always math. 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. Outside of school, I like to play with my family. I am a big family person. I have a lot of little siblings, so we get into a lot of mischief.
I love that.
That's great. We've got a lot of mathematicians. We've got 2 so far, aspiring mathematicians, which is great. It looks like we've got, and I want to make sure it's Annika or Anika on now.
Yes, it is on
Oh,
my
there we go, Annika. So I will let you ask a question and then tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So what has been like your favorite part with working with McCarthy? Do you have a specific project that has been most enjoyable so far?
Questions for Rose.
Alejandro, why don't you take that one?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've actually done 3 internships with McCarthy before I got hired on full time. The project that I'm currently on, Assembly Solar, I really enjoy it. It is actually the biggest solar project being built on the east side of the Mississippi to date. Before that, I was one of my internships was on NUP, which was the Northeast Water Purification Plant. And funny enough, that is actually the largest water purification plant being built to date as well. So I've had a lot of like the biggest projects. I think between those two, just because there is so much self-perform work, so you are overseeing everything that's out there, and it's just, to put it in like different terms, it's just really cool to see such big machinery and everything just going on all at once. And I have been very fortunate to be able to go back to Houston, where that water purification plant is, and see how everything changes so much every single month that I go back down there. It's just constantly evolving. So between those 2 projects, I think that they would be considered my favorites.
It was really cool.
Do you have any idea what you want to like possibly work on or design one day?
Not really. I mean, I like the whole, like engineering kind of thing with like, I like building like actual things, doing like more like physical things, but yeah.
What do you like to do outside of school?
So I do karate and I do, I play the cello, and I'm inside a string orchestra at Fort Worth YO. And yeah.
It's a lot of stuff. Everybody's so busy and so smart and doing great things. We've got Natalie on from Dallas now. So Natalie, we'll let you ask a question and then tell us a little bit about yourself also.
My question is, Ms. Bagot, how did you decide your major in college, and what made you pursue your master's degree afterwards?
Thank you, Natalie. I have a bachelor's in architecture, and basically I come from a family with 4 or 5 architects. So I was kind of aware of, what happens in the real world if you're an architect. And I had also seen one of my cousins go through architecture school. So I was kind of aware of, how they make models and what kind of assignments they get. So that is where my interest was sparked, essentially. That is how I ended up getting into architecture, completed the 5-year degree, worked as an architect for a couple years. And during the time that I worked at my design firm is when I discovered my passion for construction. I realized I liked being outside, inside the building that I designed a lot better than designing buildings on my computer. And that kind of pushed me into looking into career options in construction. And that is how I landed in the degree at Texas A&M, which gave me a master's in construction management.
Natalie, what do you enjoy studying?
My favorite subject is history, and outside of school, I like to free write and read books.
Oh, okay, great. Do you write narrative stories or poems, or what kind of writing do you do?
I just write whatever comes to mind, and yeah.
Good. It's like journaling. That's wonderful. Let's go to Elena Garza from Midland. I think she's on. And Elena, I will let you take the stage and ask a question. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Elena, and I'm from Midland. And so my question is what is your favorite part about your job? And I feel like that can go all around. Like,
Yeah,
it can
I
go
think,
Yeah,
I
you
think
should.
that's
I think
mine if I
everybody,
remember
everybody
correctly.
should answer that. Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to say thank you guys for letting us hop on here. Like, you girls are so inspirational. I feel like when I was your age, I was playing Polly Pockets in my room and y'all are, you know, changing the world. So like super inspirational. So the really cool thing about construction is, you know, you're part of a team. So I have two parts. I really love the part about working with your coworkers. You have to work together. You really get to learn those people and they're really your family. You don't just get to come in from 8 to 5 and you're sitting on your desk by yourself and you have your own job. You really get to know each other and that's really cool. And then secondly is because you're working with clients and you're working outside of your partners, you really get the opportunity to become an intricate part of their experience and you know, become a name for yourself with those people. And so that's really cool as well, to become a part of a really good experience or a really bad experience. And you kind of get to play a role in how they remember you know, that build or that building. And it could be a really positive, cool thing for them that you get to be a part of. And that building stays forever, right? So every time you pass it, it's like I was a part of that. And it's a really cool part.
That's cool. I'm in 7th grade, so I would say my favorite subject is probably science. I don't know. I like working with like things and like touching stuff. I'm very hands-on. And outside of school, I play track and volleyball.
Oh, track.
And
What are your races in track?
I do long jump, the
Oh.
4x2, and the 200.
Right. You are a trackster. I'd love to hear from the other women on the phone, on the Zoom. The same question about, you know, what is their favorite part of their jobs? So
I think my favorite part of my job is getting to do these kind of things. You know, if it's not seeing a building or a road that I worked on and being able to point that out to my friends, being able to create opportunities for young women, both in our company and ladies like yourselves, to see construction as a viable career path. I'm going to tell you my most embarrassing secret. When I graduated high school, when I was going to become a music major, I remember that all of my smart friends were telling me that they were going to go become engineers. And I thought to myself, why are all these smart kids going to drive trains? I didn't know what engineering was. It was years before I knew. And I share that only to emphasize the importance of these kind of outreaches to show kids and parents that there are really great high-paying careers in engineering and technology related fields. And we should be showing them to you guys. You know, I only wonder how different things would have been if I knew that an engineer didn't just drive trains when I graduated high school.
That's a good story.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing to, yeah, definitely. What about you other ladies?
I can go next. What I love the most about just being in construction is the variety that you can be a part of. Right here on the panel, we've got Chelsea, who's worked in the administration side of it, Colleen, who's done estimation, and possibly even when she began her career, been a project engineer just like us. Alejandra and I have been on various types of projects, right from building schools to hospitals, to wastewater treatment plants, and now solar jobs. So I feel like construction gives you that, keeps the novelty in life going. So regardless of how many years you've been in construction, your next job is still going to feel a new one and something that you haven't done before. And I think that's super exciting in life.
Yeah.
Kind of to build on Akita's last message of everything's always changing. You go into work every single day and it's something different. You know, it's not the same curriculum that you're just going to do the same thing every single day. something's always changing. There's always a new problem to solve. There's always something to discover. There's so many different personalities, training new people, discovering new things. I mean, I didn't think that I was going to go into an electrical scope, and here I am learning all about electricity. And I'll be honest, I was terrified of electricity. I still kind of am, but I'm going through all the proper training so that I know I'm safe out there. And so the best part too is that you get to work with a team. So it's a lot of your own work, but at the same time, you're also team building and solving problems together, just like you ladies already are in school. Like, this is what you're going to be able to take out onto the field. I mean, if you like being indoors and, you know, sitting in front of a desk, that's perfect. If you want to be outside and be hands-on, that's perfect. That's the great thing about our jobs, that you are literally split however you want. Some days I will be outside all day. Some days I'll be inside all days, but the majority of my days are split between inside, outside, and just, like I said, problem solving the day away. It's great. I love it.
Wonderful. It looks like we've got Elizabeth from Young Women's College Preparatory Academy in Houston on. And so we'd love for you to ask your question and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, good evening. I'm Elizabeth. I'm from the Dream Team. My favorite subject is biology, and I love reading. I have a question for Ms. Martindale. What advice would you give students interested in earning a career in the STEM field?
I think one of the most important things that you can do is to get exposure to the actual work that you want to do. So when you're starting to get close to graduating from high school, start looking into internship programs. A lot of companies will take freshmen and sophomores in college and allow them to come out for the summer and learn about the job. The cool thing is, they're evaluating you as a potential employee later in life, but you're also getting a chance to really see what the job is going to be like and what your Monday through Friday is going to look like. So that experience is so valuable. So the more you can do, if you can shadow somebody on a Christmas break, I highly encourage you to do that. A lot of companies love to hire on their former interns as full-time employees. I think at least a couple of us on this panel, myself included, started out as interns and fell in love. So I would highly recommend to get that career exposure, even if it's a volunteer or unpaid internship, can be huge for you in helping you make the right decision about your career.
Excellent advice.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, what do you like to do outside of school?
I mainly read, but I love playing with my dog, and I have 3 siblings, and I usually just hang out with them.
It's fun. Are they younger?
I have 2 younger sisters and 1 older brother.
Okay, 3 girls. It's fun. Okay, our representative from Talkington, is she on?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. All right. Please introduce yourself and ask a question, and we want to know about you.
Hi, my name is Bekwachukwu Uzomenki. I'm in my grade at Talkington from the Science Parties. And my question is to Ms. Ibarra. What first sparked your interest in pursuing a career in STEM?
All right. So like I said before, my story is a little bit longer. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I first went into chemical engineering because I really thought that it was just going to be doing chemistry projects every single day. Once I got more into my design classes, I realized that it wasn't really for me. So my dad, who actually worked in construction his entire life, took me out to a job site. And the moment I saw that job site, all the parts that were moving, all the pieces, the giant equipment, I was like, this is awesome. How do you get involved into this? And I talked to a project manager and a project engineer who then told me, there's careers in this. You could do mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, construction science. And that just sparked my interest. And I said, this is what I want to do. So there was already a little bit of an interest in it, but I really honed in later on in life. So that's how I got here. Great question. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So some things that I do outside of school is I play piano.
Oh.
And I like to read, and I'm not in a track event, but I am in a field event. I do discus.
Oh, wow. It's really awesome. We've got all kinds of athletes, and we've got mathematicians, and we've got musicians and readers. It's all wonderful. We've got San Antonio. Let's see. Is our San Antonio representative on? There they are. Hello, ladies.
Hi, so I'm Eileen, and we're actually both from Team Spatium, but I'll be like representing us today. And so I'm in the 10th grade. Like she said, we're from San Antonio. And I guess our question is for Miss Ulrich. So what first led you to want to work for McCarthy 3 years ago? And how has your role changed since starting there?
Yeah, so thank you guys. Okay, so long story short, ended up here in a situation that I never found myself in, which I'm totally open with sharing with you guys. I find it a super important part of my life now, and sharing with younger girls is that I found myself as a single mom of 3 little boys at the time, had to find a career and not a job. And in looking for that, came across McCarthy. I had done administrative work before. I felt like it was something I was confident in taking on. And I actually looked up McCarthy. I looked up their Facebook. I looked up their LinkedIn. And, you know, I kind of researched this company to see if they fell in line with the things that I wanted for my life, which I would completely think is appropriate for any of you ladies to do if you're looking for a company. And so took that on, applied, interviewed, ended up, you know, in that position, which is one of the great parts of my life. This company has been amazing. Since then, I got hired on originally for a specific project, which was in the town that I was raised in. I had grown up in Tyler. Was my first project to work on McCarthy, and had never lived out of Tyler. And since then, actually just about 3 months ago, moved from Tyler to Dallas. So now I'm more regionally based instead of being specific to a hospital build, where that's my only project. That's what I'm zoned in on. And my position now as the operations assistant is more regional. We kind of look as the whole region and all the projects that are going on, and kind of the support system behind, you know, everything going on in the southern region. And so it's kind of how it's evolved over time. And it's been really cool to see it play out. So
you want to tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Sure. So I guess my favorite subject is computer science, engineering, and math. I just really love like being able to understand like how computers work is really interesting to me. And outside of school, Brenda and I both participate in science fair. This year we advanced to the international level, which we were really proud of. We like to do animation and some form of art as a side hobby. Yeah.
Is your art, and what's your medium? Is it animation, or do you draw or paint or sculpture, or what's?
So it's usually like stop motion, which is like taking pictures frame by frame, but we'll also do like digital where we draw out each frame. And it's just really fun and therapeutic to like find a way to, you know, do what you like and have fun.
Yeah, that is cool. Well, I have got a couple. I think there's some slides and some other things that we want some of the women from McCarthy to share. I think, Nikita, you have got a really cool solar project in Ennis, and I believe we've got a slide we want to share about that. So if we want to pull that up and talk about it a little bit. Wow.
So this was actually Alejandra's project. I'm going to let her go first.
Okay.
So this is actually one of our previous projects. It's out in Cal Flats. So this is in California. Fun fact about our solar projects, they're all over the nation. We pull McCarthy partners from every which way. Like right now, I'm actually stationed in Michigan. You know, it was a little bit colder than Texas. But that's a really nice thing of being able to explore all of the US. This is just a little bit smaller than the one that I'm currently on. The one that we're on right now is 2,400 acres spread out through over 4 different streets. So it's definitely a drive to get around. If I oversee the underground electrical scope. So a fun fact about that is that if all the wire that we actually have installed at the moment underground, if we were to take it out and lay it side to side, it would reach from Michigan from the east to west side. That's how much wire we
Oh my
have.
goodness.
So we have over 1 million feet of wire underground right now. It's really cool to see. And this picture was actually taken with a drone. McCarthy gives us the opportunity to get our drone licenses and we become pilots so that we can do all our testing.
That's cool.
I don't know if you can see all those rows and panels that are there. What we used to have to do is we have to go through and test. So we would have to go through and test every single one. Now, because of the drone, we have the thermal imaging. So we fly the drone over, and what used to take us months on end, we can literally do in a 30-minute flight and identify which panels have something wrong with it, if it's a wiring issue, if the panel is broken, and fix it right then and there. So it's really cool to see all that new technology coming out, and we're growing with it. So by the time that you guys come out here and start working on solar projects, hopefully, who knows what's going to be out there.
That's amazing. And that's interesting technology, how much time you've saved with the drones and how much faster. So what will a field like this with this many, you said 2,400 acres? How
The
much,
one that we're on.
what kind of power outage is that? Power?
So between all the project that we're on right now it's 348 megawatts, excuse me.
It's a lot. Is it part of the Michigan grid or are other states using it all as well?
It's the entire grid that's like on the northern side of the US.
That's really, yeah. And I think for all of us that live in Texas here, and we all do, and we know how important our grids are. And so when we think about, our energy sources, I mean, y'all women of McCarthy are, responsible for making sure that people have their power and that we have a strong grid. And so I think to kind of put it in the macro and really, it's a cool project, but when you really think about, the lives that you're affecting so positively through these projects, it's very inspiring. So, yeah. Okay, I think we've got one more slide of a cool project that McCarthy has. So we'll put that up. Oh, is that a snow photo of the same thing?
This is a different one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You talk to us about that one?
So basically this is same thing, after we experienced the winter storm, we had a lot of fear when it comes to solar panels and do they function when it's snowing. So with the wires, we actually add different compounds to the wires to make sure. I think that some of the wires that we have can actually still function up to -40 degrees. If you add another compound that further north that you go up, they can function up to -100 degrees.
Wow.
We have meteorology stations located all around the plant, and they actually have snow meters, so that the moment that it starts snowing, each one of these in between each row there is a motor, and it's told by the computer system with the fiber and everything running through it to tell it to basically the panels will shift up and down to get that snow off of them. So it's just a really interesting thing that I could sit here and talk for days about how the motors and everything talks to each other in order to get that power.
How many people do y'all typically have that work on these projects? Because it's all about a team, which I think, our young STEAM participants, I mean, they, that team setting and how important it is for everybody to play their role. But what does it take for something like this to come to be activated, to come to life?
So our staff team, we're basically two different teams. I'm on the electrical team. Miss Nikita is on the mechanical team, and I'll let her talk about that in a little bit. Our staff members, we have 30 staff members on site at the moment. Our craft, when we reach our peak, we're gonna have 300, somewhere around 300 to 400 people, and that's just to throw up all those panels onto all those tubes and lay all that wire out. Nikita, you know a little bit more when it comes to the mechanical side of it.
Yeah, talk to us about that a little bit.
Lynn, do you want to change the slide so that I can explain it better?
That would be good. There we go.
Oops. I think I'm going to need one more. This is the thermal imagery.
Oh, look at that.
That's it. So I'm currently on a project for Light Source BP in Ennis, Texas. This project is divided into two halves. One half is in Ennis, and the other half is a 30-minute drive away in Corsicana. The bit that I'm showing you, I just want all the girls out there to kind of understand the magnitude of how big these farms are. So this is my project, which is at full power, which will at full power generate 135 megawatt power, and its budget is 90 million. You can see these little numbers throughout the job site. So those are basically blocks. We have 37 blocks on this job. If you can go on to the next slide, I will show you just right there. So this little block that I've highlighted is the whole of 16 and a little bit of 15. And to understand the scale of this entire project, I'll show you the next photo, which is a photo taken from the drone.
Oh.
This is the bit that has been highlighted on the previous map. So you can see these little things on there. The little blue dot is basically like a portable porta-john, and that yellow thing is an excavator. So just for you to know how big this is how big that is. And while Alejandra talked all about electrical, we on our job site right now, we started up in October of last year, and there was a lot of earthwork, a lot of grading, making sure that your ground is flat so that you can install all of these components on it. Basically, the solar panel system has three important components. One is the pile, which is the support column. Then our horizontal components called the trackers, which are these long rows that you see. And on top of it fit your panels, which are usually referred to as modules in the solar language. So I have a little fun fact box on the screen. So each one of these rows have 78 panels. One block, which is the one that we saw on that job site highlighted, has 127 such tracker rows, and 37 blocks is kind of comprising of this one project, which is about 336,000 solar panels. So just to kind of think of the number of people working on this job, not just us McCarthy staff, but even our subcontractors, which are, which help us with grading, which help us with everything electrical and all of that. Not just them, but also the actual people who are working to put this work in place is kind of mind-blowing to me. And mind you, like, this is not a building, like this is never going to get enclosed. So all throughout the year, for as long as the job is in construction phase, our craft workers are out there, being in all sorts of weather, putting work into place, just like Lynn mentioned before, to ensure that the grid is energized at all times. So it's indeed very, I feel really proud to be a tiny part of something this big. And that too in the right direction, right? This is not fossil fuel energy. This is renewable energy. And I'm sure, like, just with the number of projects just that McCarthy is doing all across the country, I'm sure renewable is like here to stay for a long time.
So I know that probably Colleen and Chelsea play a role in this too. I mean, it's certainly operations and estimating and all of those things go into, I mean, you got to be on time and on budget, right? So I don't know if you want to address that a little bit, because, it is, I mean, I'm a scientist, so I love the science aspect of everything, but there is the business angle and how you do keep projects on time. And so for the ladies that are on listening, that, they've got an, affinity for more of that side, the business side of things. You might talk about that a little bit.
Sure. The projects that Nikita is talking about, so we have two that are just south of Dallas. I actually have worked on the business end of both of those. I figure out what it costs for our civil group to go out and do all of the site work, any utilities, road work. It's part of the competitive bidding process to even win the project so that we have the opportunity to build it. So I typically get involved with anything heavy civil. So that's roads, bridges, water treatment, site work, water, wastewater, any of that kind of thing. So what I do is figure out what it costs. I usually get a set of plans. In this case, very early in the design stage, and we have to figure out what it's going to cost and how many resources it's going to take to build it. So what kind of equipment, how many people. And it's still, you know, even in those early stages, just the magnitude of these sites is hard to comprehend. If I go out to build a bridge or work on a bridge project, I can drive out there and go get eyes on the whole thing pretty quickly. With a solar job, not so easy. These are 2,000-acre sites. A lot of them have wetlands that run through them, so access is challenging. So the drone technology that Alejandro talked about is really important, especially for us in the pre-construction side, just to get an understanding of what's out there. What does the dirt look like? How many trees do we need to clear off so that they can actually build these panels?
Yeah.
Chelsea, do you want to elaborate?
Sure. So administratively, my experience is in the hospital field. That's where my project was based, but a lot of the admin work would be relatively the same. We focus more on kind of the backside. So we're looking at insurance, making sure that our subs are covered at all times, you know, in case something is to happen, we're covered, they're covered. So we're looking at insurance. We're focused on payment waivers and making sure our subs are paid on time, making sure McCarthy's paid on time, keeping our budget straight, and those types of things. We also focus on lien waivers and making sure that once people are paid, they're saying that they're paid, and that's, you know, more of covering, you know, our business side of making sure that nothing comes back legally on your company and things like that. And so administratively, a lot of times, it's not so much out there. It's not so much in the public eye. It's a lot of behind the scenes work. It's a lot of detail and organization. But if you're into detail and organization, then it's a really cool part of and an important part of the projects as well.
No doubt. I think one of the great takeaways from y'all's presentation today is, you know, we have for our girls, you know, they're working in teams, and, you know, you think about these projects, you've got you've got the science and technology part of things, and then you've got the operations and the business side, and it takes all of these things to come together. So everybody's got a role to play, and it makes, you know, these projects successful. So we really appreciate y'all sharing yourselves with us this evening and being a real inspiration for our young women. And when we think about, you know, when we think about our grid and we're thinking about our power sources, we're all going to think about y'all, and we appreciate it. So
thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's been fun. Well, we have got, as I close out, I want to again thank the girls and the leads and the sponsors, the judges, and also want to make sure that we have a few special announcements here. The Q&A with the judges begins at 10:30 tomorrow morning. And we want to wish all of our girls great luck because they're all really impressive projects. We're going to have some wonderful prizes that we're going to do and give away. And I don't know if we've got any slides with those prizes. If we do, we'll put them up. I think we do. There we go. So you can look for first place, these wonderful Microsoft Surfaces and Chromebooks. And then second place, we've got amazing earbuds and these cool, wow, look at that Fitbit. That is so cool and stylish and slender. And then the school, let's see, we've also got, yep, Amazon gift cards, yep, Bluetooth speakers, and then people's choice for the school will be a 3D printer. So we have got something for the teams, the girls, the school. I'm really excited about that. So again, the Q&A with the judges starts at 10:30 tomorrow. That's what we're going to be doing. Now, for the girls, I've got some little notes here. Don't forget to watch the recordings before 10 o'clock tonight and place your vote for the peer-to-peer award. That's a new award this year, the peer-to-peer. And so make sure and do that before 10 o'clock tonight. Middle school votes for middle school and high school votes for high school. So you can't vote for your own team. That's some notes here. And online voting continues on our website until 2:30 tomorrow. So we are on the home stretch here. We are so happy that y'all spent your evening with us for an hour and that we got to hear from the wonderful women of McCarthy and how they're keeping us warm and in power. And we want to thank y'all again for joining us. We want to wish all the girls good luck, and it's going to be a fun day tomorrow. And thank you again.